With your support on November 5th, you know what's nasty to me? Michelle Obama. I always tried to be so nice and respectful. Oh, she opened up a little bit of a box. She opened up a little bit of something. Oh, she was nasty. Ooh.
That moment tells you a lot about how politics now operates. Instead of dismissing criticism and moving on, every slight becomes an event. Every comment becomes something to revisit, respond to, and reframe. Some critics can be dismissed as partisan opponents. Others represent something more powerful: credibility, popularity, trust, and influence that extends beyond politics itself. And that is where Michelle Obama enters the picture.
Donald Trump is the wrong president for our country. He has had more than enough time to prove that he can do the job, but he is clearly in over his head.
Those words landed with force because they were not vague. They were direct, concise, and devastatingly clear. There was no attempt to soften the judgment, no complicated phrasing, no room for confusion. She was making an argument about competence, readiness, and leadership. In politics, those are foundational traits. If voters lose confidence in those areas, everything else becomes harder to defend. What made the criticism stronger was the source. Michelle Obama is not just another political surrogate. She remains one of the most recognizable and widely respected public figures in the country. She carries influence that reaches people who may tune out traditional political messaging. When she speaks, many people listen not because they agree automatically, but because they view her as disciplined, thoughtful, and measured. That gives sharp criticism from her a different kind of impact, and the phrase about having enough time to prove himself touches a deeper frustration many voters feel in re-election cycles. First campaigns are often built on promises.
His obvious mental decline, his history as a convicted felon, a known slumlord, a predator found liable for sexual abuse, all of this, while we pick apart Kamala's answers from interviews that he doesn't even have the courage to do, y'all.
This was not ordinary campaign language. This was an attempt to frame character, judgment, and fitness all at once. The reason it resonated so widely is because it combined legal history, personal allegations, public behavior, and questions of mental sharpness into one concentrated critique. It was designed to challenge not one weakness, but the entire case for leadership. When critics use phrases like mental decline, they are trying to raise concerns about stamina, clarity, and decision-making.
You know, I noticed at their convention tonight, these are all taped speeches. Michelle Obama, her speech is taped. Why don't they tell me that? I'll tape my speech. Next week I'll tape it. It's a lot easier. I'll make sure it's perfecto.
That answer reveals one of the oldest instincts in politics. When criticism hurts, change the subject to process. Instead of engaging the substance of Michelle Obama's speech, the focus shifted to how the speech was delivered. Was it live? Was it taped? Was it easier? Was it fair? These are classic deflection moves because they redirect attention from what was said to the circumstances around saying it. And yet, the response also carried something more familiar. Competition, the need to compare, to challenge, to suggest that others receive easier treatment while he faces harder standards. That sense of grievance has long been central to Trump's political identity. It presents him as someone battling unfair systems, biased institutions, and opponents who do not play by the same rules. For supporters, that narrative can be energizing. It reinforces the idea that he is fighting not just rivals, but an establishment stacked against him. For critics, it looks like refusal to confront substance directly. The same reaction produces opposite interpretations depending on who is watching. What makes this entire exchange so important is that it exposes how campaigns are now fought on multiple levels at once. There is the visible level of speeches, rallies, and headlines. Then there is the emotional level of pride, resentment, and retaliation. Then there is the symbolic level, where certain voices matter more because of who they are and what they represent. Michelle Obama represents steadiness, discipline, and a more traditional model of public leadership. Trump represents disruption, confrontation, and emotional immediacy. When those two styles collide, the contrast becomes the story itself. That contrast also helps explain why the reaction was so strong. Criticism from ordinary opponents can be folded into partisan warfare. Criticism from someone with broader public credibility is harder to dismiss. It reaches beyond party lines. It can move independents, soft supporters, and disengaged voters who otherwise ignore campaign noise.